Hey guys, this is jmans Productions on the Cool Otakus, and this will be an audio video. Partly because I've got a lot to talk about, and I can't be bothered to render a really big file. Sorry for my laziness, and sorry for the fact that I didn't upload a video on Saturday. It was because I'm really busy. I'm busy, and school's been a really gotten busy for me. I know Dragon can relate to me on this because he's actually uploaded certain videos on a Monday and certain videos on a Tuesday. I mean, instead of on a Monday. So yeah. So guys, I recorded this video a few times as well because it went wrong, and I want to try and make it go right this time. So like, I'm basically just gonna go over a few animes. I will say before this video ends, I'm not going to mention every single anime or manga that I've watched that has sad moments and all of that, because there's too many. I've always said this about anime, it pushes the boundaries of what animation should do. It's like Pixar. They always push those boundaries to make something that's seen in our eyes is for kids. Something that can be taken more serious, and that's what they do. And there's a lot of sad and touching scenes and moments in it. So to answer the question, I haven't cried. I've never cried about it. I've come close to crying, but I haven't. But I will mention a few animes and stuff that have made me have sad and depressing moments in them anyway. Every A lot of people mentioned One Piece. Also there was mentions of Naruto and Fullmetal Alchemist, and I agree with those three perfect examples. I'll choose them as well because Naruto's backstory is very sad. I mean, the kid that got shunned by everybody, then he turned into a delinquent, and then he thought, you know what, I'm going to gain the respect of these people instead of going out for revenge. I'm going to gain the respect of these people and become Hokage. And he has different trials and tribulations because he still has this Jinchuriki inside of him, which makes him a target, and he has to go through a lot with that. And Sasuke's backstory is pretty sad. His brother kills his entire family because if he doesn't, the Hidden Leaf will just go to war. Uchihas versus the Hidden Leaf, and his brother didn't want that, so his brother killed his family and then left. But that's sad. Bleach, when it was good, when Kubo actually knew how to write a story, that has some sad parts in it. Like Grand Fisher, remember that guy who was a hollow, and he's the guy that killed Ichigo's mother. That was pretty sad, and Fullmetal Alchemist, rightfully so. But before I carry on this video, remember to go to the link in the description for my channel, because I will talk about a lot of different animes in the future of that channel, and I will be reviewing these animes and talking about certain things, and I will be doing discussions on them. So this video is just going to be a mishmash of my thoughts on different things, but I will go into more depth about these things. Fullmetal Alchemist, the original, was it was filler basically, half of it anyway, and the Brotherhood is the one that's canon. So yeah, there's a lot of spoilers in this video anyway, but basically there's certain parts in it that are really sad, like the whole thing with that guy, the professor, I think his name was Shao Tucker. He turned his daughter into a chimera, which a chimera is basically this animal that has no sign of intelligence, and he changed his daughter into that just for money, and because he's a state alchemist, and the state alchemists, they have a lot of status and prestige inside this world, so he wanted to maintain that status and prestige and have all of that money, so he changed his daughter into that, and that was very sad. His little daughter, changing her into this mindless animal, it was shocking. And Akira, no, I forgot her name, the mangaka from Alchemist. Arakawa, yeah, Arakawa, she did a great job with that. And not just that, another sad part in it was X71, you mentioned this in your video and I commented, but you never commented back. I understand why, because obviously you're busy, but you were talking about Hughes, and what X71 was saying was Hughes died in Fullmetal Alchemist, in both the original and Brotherhood. This was sad because, at least in the original, both of them were sad, but the original Fullmetal Alchemist was more sadder than Brotherhood because in the original Fullmetal Alchemist, Hughes had a lot of development. They went over his character a lot. You got a real sense and an attachment to him. And then when he got killed off, you were like, oh no, I really like this guy. And in Brotherhood, Brotherhood did this thing where the stuff that in the original covered that was canon, it went through that at a really fast pace. So Hughes was in that part that was canon in the original, so they rushed through the Hughes stuff. And he did die in Brotherhood, obviously, because that was canon. But we didn't get a big attachment to him. It was still sad in Brotherhood, but it wasn't as sad in the original. But both of them did this scene very well. When Hughes' daughter was at the funeral for Hughes, basically, because, yeah, they were burying him, his daughter was literally, she's a little girl, and she was like, why are they burying my dad? Oh, why are they burying him? Why are they putting dirt all over him? Because they're burying him, and she doesn't know. She's a little girl, and it was just sad seeing that because she's just a little girl. She doesn't know that her dad's dead, and that was really sad. A series that has really sad moments in it, and this series, I stopped watching it because it was that sad. It's in Naruto and One Piece and Fullmetal Alchemist. You have the main characters Luffy, Naruto, Ed. They always have these trials and tribulations, and they have struggles, but they always seem to get over it in the end. But in this series, Rainbow, that's the series I'm talking about. It's so ironic. The series is named Rainbows, and rainbow is usually a happy thing, but this series is so sad. But basically, wow. This series just has no ups. It has no ups. It's just a constant downer. It's really depressing. That's partly why I stopped watching it. I will carry on watching it, but I stopped watching it for a while. It aired back last time spring season, so it aired like about a year ago. Basically, it was part of the seasonal animes, but that was it was sad. It was a story about these kids that went to prison, and all of these kids, they have different backstories, they have different characters. None of them are clones of each other. They're really different and diverse. That was a really good thing about Rainbow. But like, the backstories were really sad. Like, one of the kids, he was an orphan and he got molested as a child, and that was just, it was sad and messed up. It's one of those seinen animes. I really suggest this to Uncle Miyn and X71 because I know these guys, used to are slightly older, so I suggest it to used to because it's a seinen anime, and seinen is for adults, more adult people. So yeah, like Rainbow, very sad. It's not a shonen, it doesn't have a lot of fist fights, but it's just like one of those really sad, more realistic anime out there. Just to mention another one, Hajime no Ippo. There's the fight with Date against the world champion. And Hajime no Ippo is one of the greats I think everybody should watch. It's a really great anime, one of the classics. It's boxing, basically, and there's the main character, Ippo. In case you don't want to call it Hajime no Ippo, because that's a really long name for people and a weird name for people, you can call it Fighting Spirit. And basically, Ippo has to... What's that? Ippo's a boxer, and he was bullied. He was bullied before he became a boxer, and this guy showed him how to box and all that stuff. But the main reason why it's sad, I'll get into it now, is that there's this guy that Ippo really looks up to, and Ippo sees him as a hero, and he's really old. What happened with this guy? He's old for a boxer. He's not old as a person. He's just old for a boxer, and he's rising up the ranks. He's becoming the world. He's one match away from being the world champion, and if he doesn't win this match, he can't ever be world champion. And this guy's a really amazing boxer. He's just on the top of his form. He's doing really, really well. And there's so much emotion built around this fight. And when he loses it, and it's not just like, this guy Date, he loses the fight. But it's not just that he loses the fight. He gets beaten so easily by this world champion. And that's Ippo's hero. This is Ippo's hero, and he loses. The emotion around that fight was great. And the thing is, Date beat Ippo previously. And the thing is, Ippo and Date are in the same like weight class. So eventually, one day, Ippo's gonna have to face this world champion. So it was kind of one of those moments where it's similar to Dragon Ball Z, where Goku loses to Cell and he passes on the torch to Gohan. Similar to Naruto when Jiraiya dies and he passes the torch to Naruto. It's like one of those moments. It's a sad moment, and it's like Ippo has to fight this guy one day who beat up his hero so easily. That was really emotional and sad sort of scene there. Sorry about the spoilers. There's also like Rurouni Kenshin's another classic I suggest everyone should watch. Rurouni Kenshin has some really sad and touching topics in it because it deals with government, it deals with oppression, it deals with death, and it deals with all of these harsh tones. Rurouni Kenshin, I don't want to go into spoilers for that series because it's one I really suggest you watching, just like Hajime no Ippo, but there's some sad times in that, like especially Sanosuke's backstory for that one. Another one I could also mention, like Fairy Tail. I know it seems like on my channel I don't like Fairy Tail, but I do like Fairy Tail a lot. It's just that it's gone down this whole generic route, which I don't like. Hiro Mishima come up with some new ideas, but basically, one thing that Hiro Mishima does well is one of his main lead characters is Urza. Urza is a really great character. Hiro Mishima does so many great and original things with Urza just as a character. He does really awesome things with her. And Urza's backstory was pretty sad in Fairy Tail. That was like the whole Jalel thing as well. That was done really well. So that was another sad sort of scene and moment in anime. Another one I could talk about is Yu Yu Hakusho in a way, because I don't want to go into much detail about Yu Yu Hakusho because if you haven't watched it, I think you should. But like basically, Yusuke, someone really close to him dies. That was a pretty saddening scene for Yusuke. But yeah, there's that as well. And you know, there's, as I mentioned before, I've mentioned a lot of things. I mentioned One Piece with Odo, or the way he does his backstories and all of that. I mentioned quite a few things in this whole video. Oh wait, how much time do I? Oh, I've been talking for like over 12 minutes. But like, oh, I can fit in one or two more in this before I go. Bartender is also this anime has a few saddening like stories in it. It's because it's about this bartender and he meets people that come into his bar and he's really good at his job and he can analyze what the person's like, and by analyzing what they like, he can pick the drink that he feels will like soothe their mood, if you get what I mean. And these people that come into his bar, some of them have really sad stories, but the bartender, he manages to lift up their spirits, and bartender's a pretty good one as well. I've heard a lot about Gurren Lagann. I haven't watched it yet because it's one of those series I want to buy before I watch. I don't know why, but it's one of those. So Gurren Lagann, apparently that has a few sad and touching moments in it. But anyway, like I said, I can't mention everything that has these sad moments in it. Because there's just too many in anime. There's so many, and I wish I actually wrote stuff down because it would have been more of a structured video, but I didn't, unfortunately. But I hope I told you enough things. I hope I weren't too rambly with this, but yeah. Sorry for the late video. Hope you go and watch one of the series that I mentioned, because I think a lot of them that I mentioned are really great. So yeah, anyway, this has been jmans Productions with an audio video. Sorry for my laziness, but on the Call Otakus, and remember, otakus can be cool. We're looking for a female otaku, so if you're a female otaku, you know, if you're female and you like anime and all that stuff, just like join the channel, it'd be awesome. But like, look good, because like we want views. I'm joking, no. But if you're female and you want to join, go ahead and join. Otakus can be cool. Bye.